because I never would have gone, well, maybe I would have, because I'm Stephanie Ross, but I wouldn't have gone to such distance, such great lengths to do all of these hurdles if I haven't had these hives to experiment with all of these different things. So all of that to say that, so during my last fest I got them. So I decided to, with the help of several professionals and several friends that know quite a bit about dry fasting, I decided that I wanted to do this again. So from my last fast up until now, I've been dry fasting 20 to 22 hours a day, and then opening the window and having a really nutrient-dense meal, and then having baking soda and water to neutralize my kidneys, and then lots of water, and then closing the window again to prepare myself for this dry fast. And even in my last fast, I did some dry fasting, but this I wanted to do total dry fast. So, anyway, I'm really speaking around this so I don't cry. Because I don't want to cry on camera. But anyway, so during this fast, which has been 7 days, I haven't had any hives at all. And normally when I'm heated or very hot from working out or sweating or in hot yoga or just heated up, I will start to itch and I will feel the heat. And I haven't had that. So that's a big deal for me, because if you only knew the pain and suffering that I've gone through from these silly hives, you would understand. And I know that a lot of you are dealing with some pain and suffering from what it is that you're going through. And I wanted to share with you that, listen, for 8 days I fasted the first time, and then 7 days I fasted, dry fasting. 2 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks out of my life, I worked diligently on doing something for my health. 2 weeks out of my life, and we go through, I don't know about you, but we go through hundreds, thousands of dollars in supplements and hundreds of thousands of dollars in trying different diets, and will this work and will this not work, and what's good for my health and what's good for my gut, and we talk about it for forever. And I'm telling you, from my experience, I wanted to share it with you, the dry fasting works. It works. Not only on the outside appearance, which is great and feels wonderful and all of that, but internally. Internally it changes you. It changes your cell, like we talked about, all of the scientific information that I gave you. It rebirths the cell. The cell has an opportunity to take all of the pressure that it's normally under, working and going through all of these things, and it changes. And it gives you back your life and your health. And that's what it's all about. And it works. So, So I wanted to share also what I look like, because a lot of you have asked. So I wanted to, alright, So I had to buy new jeans, which wasn't a big deal. And I bought a size 6 jeans. So, and they're Luckies because I'm a Texan. And they are too big in the butt, which isn't a bad thing. But anyway, and then the shirt, believe it or not, is a small. And it's funny how things work out sometimes, because I went into Lululemon, however you pronounce it, and I bought, I asked the girl who was handing me all these clothes for a size 8, and she came back and she handed me a size 4, and I thought, I'm never going to fit into that. But anyway, so I was like, oh, it looks kind of tight, but I like the way it fits, so I'm going to wear it anyway. So it turned out to be perfect for what it is that I needed. So the universe always knows what it's doing. So during this time, I've already given you the numbers, and I've always had a thin waist, just a big butt. So this is what I look like afterwards, and it feels great. So not only have I had an opportunity to deal with my health issues of getting rid of hives, chronic urticaria, I've also had the opportunity to go inward. I've had the opportunity to look these fears in the eye of needing food for comfort or an escape or an outlet of some sort, an emotional outlet. And I know food is great. I'm a foodie. I love food, and I'll always be. I always love food, especially, well, only good food, not especially, only good food. But it gave me an opportunity to really separate myself and meditate again a lot, and really sit and think and journal and write it out and get my feelings out on paper. And I cried again, and I laughed, and I listened to a lot of music, and I listened to more books on tape about only positive things. I only shared my thinking with positive things. If something was negative, I just turned it off and walk away, which is always the right thing to do anyway. So, oh, and I also wanted to share really quickly the differences between water fasting and dry fasting and what I've learned. So water fasting, which is wonderful. I love True North. I love the work that they do. I did love water fasting. But water fasting is different for a few reasons that I found. I'm not an expert, but this is what I've learned in my own experience. Water fasting makes you more hungry. It continues to create the stomach acid, the hydrochloric acid in your stomach, as preparing yourself to eat. So you still get saliva, you still get hungry. I mean, you do. You're ready for a meal after you drink some water. So that was the biggest difference that I noticed. Another difference that I noticed when I was water fasting was that I didn't have as much energy, believe it or not. I believe that on dry fasting, I was energized pretty much all the time. Now, I couldn't go out and do hot yoga. I couldn't do my normal, fun activities, which I really missed and love. Bike riding I couldn't do. But things around the house, I stayed close to home. Well, yeah, I took some long drives and listened to music, but relatively I stayed close to home, and I did a lot of things around the house. The other thing about water fasting that I felt is that it's not as effective. Now, what I mean by that is I felt that the dry fasting was really working. Like when I was water fasting, I felt things working too, but with dry fasting, I felt an empowerment like never before. Dry fasting, I highly recommend. I think that it is the best tool that I have in my belt as far as healing is concerned, especially. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about my diet because you do the diet what it is that you feel you're supposed to. I'm not one of these people that are banging a drum for a particular diet. I do a diet that I love and that I have found that works for me, and that is what is important. But I think that everybody needs to find that for themselves. Wait, try. Gotta swallow. So, what else did people ask me? What was the hardest thing, and how did I find the willpower? Hardest thing. Well, I enjoy cooking and preparing food and doing all of those things. So I still did that for my family. I like to create. It's part of my creativity. It's part of who I am. So I really enjoy doing that. So I I did all of that. Now, the smell and things like that, the smells would get to me sometimes where I would have to leave the house and go for a drive or just get away. Um, Something that's very effective when you're dry fasting or water fasting is to shock your system. So to take a cold shower or to jump in a really cold pool helps a lot. And it also helps with brown fat. So I did that quite often. Let's see. So I think the last thing that I'd like to share with you is a drink of water, which I have right here. And I wanted to share it with you. It's amazing what we take for granted in life and how we don't realize how important the small things are that we have. I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful for this journey and this fast, and all of you that have contacted me and shared your hearts with me and asked me questions and just loved me through this. Thank you. I really appreciate it more than you could possibly know. I'm thankful for all of you. And the last thing that I wanted to share was that, over these last 2 weeks, really, actually, I fasted the first time for 8 days, and then I've been doing a dry fast with a 2 to 4 hour window since then, and then this last 7 days. We have the ability to heal ourselves. We have the ability to change ourselves. And it doesn't need to come in the form of, talking about diets all day long. It doesn't need to come in the form of, worrying if we're ever going to heal, which I've been there myself, so I understand that. But we have the tools with what we need, and all we have to do is walk out the steps. And I just encourage each one of you to think about that and really think about that for yourself and what it is that you're trying to heal in your life. And I'm not just talking physical, I'm talking about emotional and spiritually and mentally. We have the power to overcome. So I just want to thank you again for joining me and watching this. I hope you have a wonderful day.